If you have come across this message, let me tell you one thing with absolute certainty. It is neither a glitch in the algorithm nor a simple coincidence. It is the universe responding to the question your soul quietly asked. There, in that corner of your heart where you began to doubt, there is something you needed to hear today. Right at this moment, before your hesitation turns into giving up, I know you have remained silent. I know you have carried on as if everything were over, trying to convince yourself that you have turned the page. Yet deep inside you, there is a question that haunts you, an uncertainty that steals your peace. And this question about the future of this connection can only be answered by the divine plan. The answer reaches you now with a clarity you can no longer ignore. Forget the thought that you are exaggerating what you feel. You are not imagining this intensity. You do not love in vain, nor do you love alone. The connection that unites you with this person is real, a bond not born of the mind but of the soul. It is not a fleeting impulse but a profound meaning. The central message you must keep within yourself is this. Today, the universe confirms that you must not give up. You are standing on the edge of a manifestation that has long been prepared for both of you. You have no idea how much energy is moving behind the scenes in your favor. That feeling that something is about to change is not an illusion. The persistence of this story within you, the fact that their name won't leave your mind, and that your heart keeps returning, there is not a sign of dependence or obsession. It is a sign. It is a feeling that cannot be artificially created but belongs to a purpose that neither distance nor time nor silence can destroy. Therefore, the first great step today is this. Stop seeing distance as failure. In truth, physical distance is only an illusion, for the energetic connection between you is more alive than ever. Your soul is in constant contact with theirs. You are connected by an invisible thread. The feeling of emptiness you experience is the mirror of the other person who feels your absence. That absence is the tool destiny uses. This person carries your name deep within. Even if they turn away or hide behind their fears, the universe sees beyond what humans try to conceal. So do not give up on what came into your life with such a profound purpose. This love is not a whim. It is something that comes from a much more spiritual and divine place. In the next moments, you will recognize the first visible, clear confirmation that their soul is energetically calling to you right now. But to understand it, you must first grasp what is happening in the invisible dimension. The key for this story to continue does not lie in what you do outwardly, but in your inner certainty. Remain steadfast, not out of impatient expectation, but out of deep trust that what belongs to you will not leave. And what destiny has united cannot be broken. Trust your intuition. That feeling that tells you the love is still there, it is the only truth you need right now. Understand that there is someone who truly loves you, someone who thinks of you more often than they admit. And this is only the beginning. If you are ready to integrate this realization into your life, then leave a heart in the comments. And now that you have recognized the authenticity of your intuition, it is essential to move from doubt to understanding to an awareness of the invisible reality that surrounds you. Despite the silence and the distance, you are not walking alone. The intensity you feel is not a deception but a truth planted within you. If the universe has brought you together, crossed your paths and planted within you a conviction you cannot deny, then it is because this purpose transcends human logic. Perhaps you have felt that this connection demands more than you receive, or that you are holding on to something that seems to be dissolving. That is an illusion of perception. The truth is, you are being guided, and the universe would not plant a love of such magnitude in your heart, only to leave you without direction. When your heart keeps returning to the same place, It is not because your mind deceives you, but because there exists a bond that does not arise from impulse, but directly from the soul. This feeling is real, and this purpose cannot be destroyed by silence or distance. The real question is, why does this story still live within you? Why does their name not fade? Why does this connection not break? The answer is simple. Because it is more alive than you believe. What belongs to you on an energetic level cannot disappear. What destiny has united cannot be broken by misunderstandings or pauses. Therefore, this feeling within you that resists forgetting is not weakness. It is your soul confirming that this love belongs to you. There is a deep, almost unbridgeable difference between what your eyes see and what your soul perceives. What your eyes see is only the surface. A person who appears distant, cold, or indifferent. But the universe tells you, do not be deceived by this surface. Inside this person carries feelings that bear your name. Love of this kind does not always express itself logically. Sometimes it hides, blocks itself, or protects itself. Out of fear of losing everything, this person thinks of you much more often than they would admit. They feel your absence, your energy, your silence. They notice when your name is mentioned, when they remember a conversation, or when they look at a photo they cannot bring themselves to delete. They feel an emptiness they cannot explain. And even if you believe they have moved on, they haven't. If you think you are indifferent to them, you are not. If you think they have forgotten you, they haven't. Some feelings return, some memories ache, and certain signs follow them. There are moments when they stop in the middle of the day just to think of you. The universe has witnessed all of these moments. But let us look at something concrete. How can you know that this connection is truly active right now? If the person feels your absence, how does it manifest in your reality? In your body, the first tangible sign that this connection is active is emotional telepathy. The person is not absent because they do not love you, but because they do not know how to handle the intensity of their feelings. Some souls love so deeply that they paradoxically become afraid, freeze, or briefly withdraw in order to breathe again. So while you wonder why everything seems to have come to a standstill, the universe shows you that in truth, nothing has stopped. On the contrary, the emotions of this person are moving more strongly than ever, only in secret within, in the place where you cannot see them, but where destiny is already at work. This inner movement has a direct effect on your energy and manifests itself through symptoms you mistakenly attribute to stress or coincidence. When this person thinks of you intensely, their energy travels through the thread of the soul and reaches you. It can appear as sudden sadness or inexplicable melancholy without any clear reason in your daily life. It is the pain of their longing, the echo of their remorse that enters your emotional field. You believe it is your sadness, but in truth, it is theirs. Another frequent sign is a sudden, unavoidable memory. In the most unexpected moments, their image or a shared memory appears in your mind with such clarity that you pause. That is not a coincidence. It is the universe showing you what your intuition has long known. The connection is not broken. In their heart, you are more present than you think. It is their soul sending this thought to you. This connection can also make itself felt physically through an unexplained warmth or a light burning sensation in your face or chest, precisely in the moments when they think of you with affection or longing. Then the energy of their love reaches you. When they are filled with fear and withdraw inwardly, you may feel a sudden chill or an emptiness in your stomach, as if your energy had briefly been taken away. Another very specific sign is the activation of music. You suddenly hear a song you once shared or a new melody that reminds you of them. This is not a coincidence. It is the universe using sound as a bridge to remind you that the connection is alive and that this person feels it strongly. When they hear your name and something stirs within them, that vibration travels to you and resonates inside you. There are nights when they think of you before they fall asleep, and days when a memory of you tightens their chest. Even when they stay silent to pretend strength, the universe sees the truth they cannot speak. Therefore, if your intuition has been stronger than ever lately and you feel that something is moving on the spiritual level, even on days when you swore to let go, then listen to that feeling. It is not a sign of dependence or obsession, but of clarity. The universe shows you through small signs that this love still lives, that invisible threads connect your hearts and that thoughts travel without words. The love this person feels for you cannot simply be turned off. It is a love that fights against itself, that tries to comprehend the incomprehensible, to resist the irresistible. Your presence has left a mark on their souls so deep that they cannot even admit it to themselves. And that is precisely why you must not give up. Now we have already recognized that your feeling is not an illusion, but a certainty, confirmed by the energy flowing between you. Yet the inevitable question arises: why is this bond so enduring that neither time nor distance can erase it? The answer lies in the concept of the destiny plan, what on a spiritual level is called a soul agreement. You must understand that this connection is no coincidence. It was never a mere encounter or fleeting attraction that disappears at the first obstacle. This connection is the result of a greater plan, a soul pact made on a higher level long before you met in this physical world. It is a covenant of growth, awakening, and shared purpose. When two souls are bound by the plan of destiny, the energy does not allow a final separation until the lesson or purpose of that encounter is fulfilled. That is why all attempts on both sides to let go or forget are in vain. And that is the undeniable proof that this is a true connection. What is human can break. What is destined resists. The universe would never allow a key element of your spiritual growth to be lost just because one of you became afraid. The love you feel for this person is not an emotion that can be destroyed by distance. It does not stem from a human decision, but from a higher one. The reason their name does not disappear from within you despite all efforts is because your soul honors this pact. It is like an energetic anchor binding you to this truth. When the connection remains, when the memory continues to vibrate, it is because the universe is constantly showing you the authenticity of this bond. It is the way destiny tells you to stay centered. This process belongs to me. I control the synchronicity. There is something essential to understand about the plan of destiny. Within it, there is no confusion, only necessary pauses. The universe would never place you in a situation where your heart is hurt without meaning. If there is silence now, it is not the end. It is an energetic phase of reorganization. Destiny is working on the other person so they may return to you stronger, whole, and more determined. It does not want you to receive someone who is only half ready, nor does it want you to remain in a state of fear and restlessness. That is why the bond does not break. It stretches and relaxes, but the core of the connection remains, ensuring that you will find each other again at the right moment. What seems to you like an endless wait is in truth precisely the time the other person needs to heal their layers and fulfill this soul contract with the necessary maturity. The silence that hurts and confuses you is not indifference. Quite the opposite. On an energetic level, it is overload. To understand why this person has withdrawn, we must examine the anatomy of silence and what is happening within them. This person is experiencing an emotional intensity they do not know how to handle. You, through your sensitivity and spiritual connection, have the tools to understand the depth of this bond. They, however, have not yet reached that stage in their development. The magnitude of this love, the strength of this connection, and the certainty that you are the person they have been searching for have triggered an energetic shock within them. Their silence is an expression of deep fear of vulnerability. Like a wild animal that retreats when wounded, they have withdrawn into themselves to lick their wounds, to understand, to protect themselves from something they perceive as too powerful. This pause is their attempt to rationalize the irrational. They believe that distance, silence, and ignoring the connection could reduce the intensity and give them back control over their emotions. But the universe tells you this behavior is a misperception, not a sign of lack of love. Silence is the sound of their fear. And this fear is so great because the connection with you is the truest and deepest thing they have ever felt. They are not afraid of you, but of the force of their own feelings. They fear that if they surrender completely, the pain of a possible loss would be unbearable. So they prefer to withdraw before the connection grows even stronger. Inside, they are now fighting against their own nature, their human ego, the wounded voice that says, "Protect yourself, keep your distance, don't trust this beauty." And their soul, the voice that calls your name and longs for your closeness. Silence is the battlefield on which this fight rages. Yet the universe is not idle. Within this silence, a movement of such power is forming that the person cannot avoid facing it. Destiny creates circumstances that constantly remind them of what they have lost or put on hold. The absence of your energy feels to them like a burning emptiness that nothing and no one can fill. Every attempt to fill this void with distraction, other people or things, only makes them feel more clearly how strong this connection was and still is. Therefore, when you are tempted to interpret their silence as a lack of love or indifference, pause. Silence is proof of their inner struggle. It is the anatomy of a heart being urged by the universe to heal old wounds before it can meet you in the way you deserve. To heal the connection and allow destiny to fulfill its purpose, you must understand what they are fighting against. Their distance and silence are not acts of lovelessness, but expressions of an ego armor built over many years. An armor that the universe is now dissolving layer by layer. This armor is the strongest barrier preventing them from moving forward. Yet the love you embody, so great, so pure, so unconditional, acts as a mirror of their own light. For souls that have experienced wounds and betrayal in the past, it can be deeply frightening to recognize themselves in such a clear light. In those moments, the ego's protective wall reacts instinctively, trying to protect them from a pain long gone, but still feared by their emotional memory. The true source of their fear lies not in the future, but in the past. In the fear that the intensity of this connection could end like previous experiences in disappointment, loss, or abandonment. That is why the universe is leading them through a deep inner transformation. A kind of dark night of the soul in which they are forced to face their fears, old wounds, and unresolved patterns. This phase of silence and apparent loneliness is necessary for them to recognize their own shadows, heal their wounds, and release the burdens of the past. The universe is taking away their ability to flee, forcing them to confront themselves and see the truth of their feelings. This darkness is not a curse, but a purification, a process that leads them to shed old beliefs and defense mechanisms layer by layer. When they return, it should not be out of need, but from inner wholeness. You are both healing and challenge for them, medicine and exception. Their ego resists, but their soul recognizes that the love emanating from you is too strong to continue living in illusion. Destiny shows them unmistakably that no defense mechanism and no control can stand against the power of a connection born from a higher purpose. This period of separation, however, is not a one-sided process, because while the universe works on their fears, it also heals yours. You are learning to love without losing yourself, to remain calm without depending on their presence, and to trust even when you see no visible proof. Destiny is shaping you both, them to become braver, you to become calmer. When the moment of reunion comes, it should arise from a place of balance, not from lack or longing. All of this leads to a decisive turning point. The universe has shown you that reunion is part of the divine plan, but the speed with which it fulfills itself depends on how clear you stand in your faith. Doubt slows the flow, while certainty accelerates it. Every form of lack, fear, or impatience energetically sends the signal that you are not yet ready to receive what belongs to you. But when you rest in certainty, this energy becomes magnetic. It attracts without forcing. Therefore, speak your faith, for words carry creative power. When you declare with full conviction, "My soul trusts in the manifestation of this destiny," you send a clear signal to the universe. This act of trust is not a mere ritual, but a reordering of your inner frequency. You break the chains of doubt and open the gate to manifestation. From this moment on, your task is not passive waiting, but conscious release. The law of magnetic detachment teaches you that attraction arises from calm. Those who chase repel. Those who trust attract. If you try to force the connection through fear, control, or worry, you unconsciously create resistance that blocks the energy. But when you let go, you remain open. Letting go does not mean giving up on love. It means trusting that it will find its way back to you freely, maturely, and at the right time. To trust means to unconditionally believe that the universe, which has already placed love on your path, knows better than you when and how you are meant to reunite. To truly apply this law, you must stop energetically chasing the other person. Energetic pursuit does not only happen through actions, but through thoughts, expectations, and emotional fixation. Every time you check their social media, wait impatiently for a message, or focus all your energy on what they are or aren't doing, you shift your power into lack and uncertainty. The spiritual practice of detachment calls you to bring your energy back to your own center, into your life, your growth, your peace. When you begin to raise your vibration without needing external validation, you transform into a magnet. The universe sees you at peace, confident in your path, radiant in your own energy. This frequency sends a clear message: I am whole, I am abundant, and what belongs to me will find me without force. This inner state is what the other soul feels when in its dark night it longs for light. Your balance creates a magnetic vacuum that naturally draws them back. Once you stop sending out pressure and fear, the true resonance of the soul connection begins to work pure, free of resistance. They do not return out of pity or control, but because your energy has become so clear and strong that their soul has no choice but to reunite with yours. That is the essence of magnetic letting go, releasing to attract. But to truly understand why the universe chose this path, we must grasp why this separation was necessary. If the connection is so deep and meaningful, why did the universe allow this painful pause? Because this separation is not punishment, but part of the plan, an activation of destiny. The pause is training, a preparation so that this love can exist in its true form. The intensity of your connection was so great that without healing and awareness, it would have collapsed under the weight of its own immaturity. The first hidden purpose of this separation lies in the maturing of the bond. When you met, both of you acted from old patterns, from fear, dependency, or the need for validation. The universe knew that this dynamic would cloud the purity of your love, so it intervened to create space for awareness. This phase of solitude was a kind of spiritual incubator. You learned to love yourself independently of their attention while they were forced to face their fears without the refuge of your closeness. The second purpose of this pause is transformation. Destiny does not want a repetition of the past, but a new connection, more conscious, deeper, and more stable. The pain of this pause is the price of growth. Through absence, both of you come to understand the true value of what exists between you. The other person's soul recognizes that you are irreplaceable, that no other connection will ever feel as complete because no other carries the same soul agreement. That is why the universe continually creates situations that remind them of you. Moments when they feel the vacuum of your energy and realize they have strayed from their true path. This pause is in truth an act of pure love from the universe. A higher power says, "I will protect this connection until both are ready. I will separate you to heal you so you may return whole, conscious, and forever." The pain you feel now is temporary, but the understanding born from it is eternal. The love that returns will be unlike any you have experienced before because it will be born from awareness, not need. Now that magnetic detachment has set the energy in motion and the dark night of the other soul has reached its peak. The moment begins when your faith takes visible form. The universe has promised you that this separation is only temporary. And now it is time to recognize the signs confirming that the return is imminent. The first and clearest of these signs is the increase in true inner telepathy. These are no longer vague memories or diffuse longing, but clear, vivid thoughts appearing in quiet moments, waves of warmth, joy, or tenderness suddenly washing over you. They are proof that your souls are already communicating again. What you feel now are the emotions of the other person, no longer in resistance but in flow. Their heart begins to surrender to the truth of feeling, and at the moment they allow it, their energy reaches your field directly. Pay attention to the timing. If you find yourself awake at the same hour each night, it may be the moment when their soul is most active or when a memory touches them so deeply that it pulls them from sleep. Another clear